right, well, Daiva, I guess the first obvious question would be, what was your initial reaction when you found out you were going into the Hall of Fame this year?
Oh, my initial reaction was just feeling really honored, honestly. I mean, I looked at the list of other people that were being inducted, and like they're all just tremendous athletes that I can't even believe I could stand next to them. To be honest with you, they all had amazing careers at Ashland, and then most of them even went beyond Ashland and did some professional stuff too. So to be able to be in that group is a privilege and an honor, and it means a lot to me, honestly, to just be recognized for the work I put in at Ashland. So it's great, and it brings back so many good memories, honestly.
We will get to what you're doing right now, but before we do that, I'm going to circle back to when you were down the greater Columbus area at Bishop Watterson High School being recruited, and where did Sue Ramsey and Ashland enter the picture?
It was probably so I started playing AAU between my junior and senior year, and I played on a really good AAU team where we like kind of went all over the nation. And eventually, I started getting a lot of phone calls and kind of by D2, D1s. And really, what struck me about Ashland and Coach Ramsey and Coach Freilich was just I could tell it was a place that I would really thrive and grow. Like it was a place that had an actual culture, a positive culture, a place that was recruiting other women that I felt were going to be upstanding people that I would learn from and be able to be around and become a better person around. So I think that they stood out to me so much. It was like, one, it was kind of close-ish to home, but also it felt homey, like the people involved in everything, even beyond just the amazing coaches and the other their teammates, but also just the community of Ashland, the people working at Ashland, the faculty. It just felt like a place I would fit in and be able to thrive and grow as a person. So it was a really clear decision. Like it just felt right, right when I made it.
And you being recruited when you were was kind of the start of another ascension of AAU women's basketball. Good freshman year, All-American as a sophomore, and we had Jenna Stutzman at that point. Lindsay Tenyak was coming in, other players, and then Carrie Doherty was going to come in. And then you get to the 2011-2012 season, and then what happened?
Yeah, then I got injured. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll never forget. We were all excited about the season, and during preseason, we actually did a running test called the beep test. And it was actually during that test that I tore my Achilles. So we were doing sprints and I just tore my Achilles. It was just devastating. And I think we knew we were going to be good that year. We had so many good players, but I think to really, have the amazing run that the team had that during that season and go on to the national final is just, it was like a dream, I don't think anyone was really expecting that when we first started the season, but it was amazing. So yeah, it was an amazing season for the team, and it was so cool for me to be involved, but I was injured the whole year that junior year. So it was a tough year for me too, honestly.
I was going to ask that because I think a lot of people, and when they look in that situation, and it's even happening now in the NFL, people are getting hurt for the year just in training camp before the first preseason game happens. So what is that like for a student athlete to have that happen and then to see everything going on without you on the cusp of winning a national championship?
Yeah, it was a really tough year for me, honestly. Like I think also most athletes, I think playing at pretty high level, have a lot of identity in their sport, and really you spend so much time, effort, energy in your sport. It can get taken away in a second with an injury, and it was such an identity crisis for me, honestly, as a junior in college. And I had to sort of explore other interests of mine, which was actually pretty good for me. I think it's one of the reasons why I became a doctor, because I had that year to sort of explore some of that. But I also think it was really hard sitting on the bench, and watching this team who just even whatever, how much success they had, it's just hard sitting on the bench and not being able to participate. But I think it really taught me how to be a team player, how to be just happy and proud and grateful for all these amazing women and how much work they put into, and to watch them be so successful was a real privilege. And so it was a really hard year for me. There was a lot of ups and downs, but I think it made me a better teammate, a better person long term in the end. But no injury like that is an easy one. Yeah.
And then obviously you had to rehab that injury for as long as you had to, but you came back at the beginning of 2012-13. And obviously there was a lot of expectations on that team to do what it ultimately did. But also that was kind of the start of this wave of support that this program has had, which has carried on to this day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. To see the community gather around that team for that junior year, and then even obviously our senior year too, when we won the national championship, was just like, to see the stadium packed out for our games was, I like to tell people too, because obviously in the world nowadays, I'm like, what, our games were packed, so it was just to have the community sort of just be there for us in such a supportive way was amazing. So yeah.
And for yourself personally, now you were on the court helping them to win a national championship. Carrie missed 7 or 8 games with an injury. So now people got to see you and Lindsay and Ashley, and then Taylor Woods came into all that. So it was a lot of people want to remember what Carrie did. She doesn't want to remember what she did. She'd be the first one to not remember what she did. But it was really a team effort to go 37-1 and win a national championship.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was what a special year. I mean, that year was like a Disney movie, honestly. That's what I tell people. But I think the caliber of women that I played with, it just is outstanding. Like, I don't even know if I should be on the inducted in the Hall of Fame. It should be like a team thing, honestly. But that being said, yes, the whole year was so special being around those kind of athletes, especially, I mean, all of them, but Carrie is just a next level person, athlete, etc., that I learned a lot from. And I mean, obviously she's the coach there now and done amazing, successful things, no surprise. And so I think being out on that court throughout that whole year was a privilege. And those games where she was out, I think it also kind of forced me to sort of, as a player, sort of reach my maximal potential again. I was really dependent on during that period of time. And so I think as much as it was hard having her on, I think I grew as a player too. And I think it kind of helped us too. My confidence was a little higher, and then we could go on and get into the tournament time too. So
you win a national championship, and because you missed that 11-12 season, you technically had another year of eligibility. And I've never heard the story from you why you did not play in 13-14.
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think, it was a really hard decision for me in the end. But I had a lot of things I wanted to do, to be honest with you. And I think it was always hard too, because all of my really close friends, this big group of women that I started with, were all graduating. And I think I just felt like it was my time to be done, to be honest with you. I wanted to do certain things. I wanted to go to medical school. I wanted to sort of, have these other experiences, and all of these really close friends of mine were graduating. And I really felt like it was my time to to finish. And I think I always I'll tell you, it was hard for me after I finished. I think the transition from college sports to then, non-college sports is a huge transition for athletes. And so I thought about that decision for a long time after I made it, and I think obviously it was the right decision for me, but I missed it so deeply much. So it was not easy, and it was not an easy transition. Yeah.
So let's fast forward to today in 2025. What is life like for Daiva Gerbec Mitchell these days?
As far as my sort of career and stuff, I actually became a doctor. I became a sports medicine doctor, so I get to work with athletes all the time, which is a dream come true. I'm actually sort of like a non-surgical orthopedic doctor. I work at one of the branches of West Virginia University, WVU, so I work in Wheeling, West Virginia. I have obviously a clinic, but I also take care of the Wheeling University athletes, West Liberty athletes, Bethany College athletes, and then also the Nailers, which is the ECHL.
Yes.
Yeah. So I my career has become a lot about athletics as well, which is something obviously in my core and a passion of mine. Then also I'm married. I married somebody I met at Ashland, Adam Mitchell, and he is actually one of the coaches at Duquesne for the men's soccer team. So, yeah, sports is just in our house constantly. And then I have one son right now who's 2.5, and I'm actually pregnant with my second son.
Oh, congratulations.
3 weeks. So it's happening soon. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, we'll finish with these two questions. I'm kind of combining the Eagle Rewind with the Hall of Fame. The Eagle Rewind part is if you had someone that you knew down there that their son or daughter or some relative was thinking of coming to Ashland University, what would your sales pitch be?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I think Ashland University is truly a special place where you're getting more than just a good education. You're meeting people that are genuinely good people that you can build strong relationships with. The people that work in that community also are just going to be great mentors for you. It also has a nice sort of smaller environment where you could grow as a person too, instead of these big colleges where you can get lost. And I also think it's just a great community. I think the women's basketball team story is a piece of that, of like, we did, had these amazing seasons, and the community just wrapped us up and made us feel so special and really supported us throughout the whole thing. So I think it's just a really special place.
And then finally, the Hall of Fame piece come October 11th at 9:30 in Upper Convo, and Al King calls you up to the dais, to the podium, and you give your speech. What do you think that's going to be like?
I think it's going to be great. I think it will bring back so many memories just walking around that campus. And it will be another one of those things where I just feel like it's a Disney movie, like this is the sweet stuff in life. To be able to be honored for something like this is a real privilege. And I will be so grateful to share that experience with so many good people around.